Okay, we are here with Spencer Burns, my brother-in-law from WB HVAC, and we're just here to talk to him and get to know what it is you do for your business and what do people need to know about WB HVAC.
Um, so, WB HVAC is my HVAC company. I've been in the industry since 2018 now, so it's been a hot second.
A long time.
Yeah, it is.
It's longer than I've been in real estate.
Yeah. I started my own company in the September of 2023.
Okay.
So we're coming up on my second year of having my own thing, which honestly I could not be happier. There's a lot of big companies out there that are just nickel and diamond people trying to get everything they can, and it's honestly it's fun to compete against them because I can offer such a more high quality, a high quality level of work at a reasonable price because I don't have insane overhead that these guys that spend millions of dollars in advertising. So I really do enjoy that aspect of it. I love working with people. I love helping them and solving their issues, especially when it comes to HVAC.
Right. What's the biggest issue you see people call out for? Like what's your bread and butter?
Biggest service call?
Yeah.
I get a lot of service calls for people who just are not maintaining the equipment as they should. They forget to change out a furnace filter for a couple months and it trips off on a high temperature switch or it freezes up. And those are always like the disappointing ones where it's like, oh, come on, just
It's
replace
preventable. It's
it. Exactly.
Easy. Yeah.
And typically when I do a phone call with any of these, like setting up an appointment, I'll usually recommend that they try that if they haven't done it. And then also, coming up into the summer, we get a lot of capacitors that go out on air conditioners, which is a pretty easy fix. And then beginning of this year, I was doing a lot of just change outs, people wanting to have more reliable equipment that's not 30 years old. And so I've got a lot of bread and butter.
It sounds like it. So beyond the changing the furnace filter, what maintenance should a homeowner be doing to avoid the costly repairs of neglect?
Yeah, I love the way you worded that. The costly repairs of neglect. On the outside unit, the condenser, one thing you can do is spray it down with a hose. A lot of times, especially in the fall time, and if you don't clean it off, it's there in the spring. You'll get, if there's a dryer vent or cotton, gets sucked up right alongside of those coils on that air conditioner.
You have to breathe.
Discharge of the top, the side of it gets clogged. Yeah, it can't breathe, exactly. That causes a lot of air conditioners to overheat and can cause issues with compressors, which are big. That's a big problem.
So is that like a yearly maintenance item, or how often should homeowners be cleaning that up?
It totally depends. Depends on the situation. I have one client who has to do it every single year. And theirs is a little bit more complicated. They have a unique air conditioner where they have to actually take it apart to clean it. Most of them you can just spray the outside of it.
Okay.
But they have to do it annually. I know some that have never had to, and there's maybe a little bit of dirt on the backside, but that's it. And so you can spray that off, and that will cause it to run a little bit more efficiently.
Nice. So spray off the condenser outside, change your air filter. Is there any other surface level maintenance that the average Joe can do?
The average Joe is a difficult thing to say because there's a lot of like for you example, you're a handyman, right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You can watch a YouTube video and clean a flame sensor. That's something that probably should happen annually or every other year at least. And that's just a little piece of sandpaper, one screw and some sandpaper.
I did that once. My dad was helping me do that, and he recommended using a dollar bill to sand it off.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna be sanding for a long time if you're using a dollar bill.
Or maybe it was something else, but I remember him being like, "Yeah, you don't want something too aggressive, but you need to get off that corrosion or something." And
That's oxidation.
he recommended and I still have that dollar bill like in my toolbox.
I love that. So, well, what happens with those flame sensors, Jared, is that it's a little metal prong that's in the flame, right?
Yeah.
The flame comes on, it ignites on one side of the burners, and lights across, and the flame is that prong is directly in the flame. It actually creates a millivolt of electricity that goes down to the control board, and it says, "Hey, there's flame present.
There is heat." Right?
Exactly. You can leave everything operating normal. Everything is operational. And what happens is, being in that flame, oxidation and corrosion comes on it, and so it's this metal prong that gets it's almost like an ashy substance that's around it. And what you need to do is you sand it off. A piece of sandpaper is fine. You want to get that thing actually shiny again, to be just like brand new. You really don't have to worry too much about grinding that thing down. Yeah. It's a pretty strong. It's a piece of metal. Okay. So generally what I will do is I will sand it until it's got a little bit of shine to it, back to that original state that it was in, and then I'll just put it back in place.
And how often are you doing that? Like how long you put in a new flame sensor, how long before it needs that little spit shine?
Totally depends. Again, I have a particular client that I have to do that annually for him. Okay. Like it'll come on and give that same code that it's a dirty flame sensor. And then there's some where it's 5-8 years that you don't have to worry about it at all.
Definitely something worth looking into.
It certainly is.
There's this movement of, I don't know, have you ever heard of like the professional homeowners?
No.
It's this like idea of you as a homeowner should be able to maintain your home to like a certain base level. Like obviously your bigger repairs and stuff like that, hire it out to the professionals. Sure. But like this movement is all about just taking ownership and maintaining your biggest investment, which would be your home. So that's why I love to hear tradesmen, professionals in any industry and be like, hey, so what are the baseline things that I can be doing to avoid just like the dumb repairs? Like I said before, the costly repairs of neglect. Like there's a lot of things that I know I can and should be doing, but it's just a matter of like the reminders or like, do you think that could be something in your business you could do to be like, hey, WB HVAC, just reminding you it's time to
change that filter.
Change the filter.
Yeah.
And that could be a good way to reach out, maybe to like stay top of mind and be like, oh yeah, it's my HVAC guy. And then they might just be like, you know what? How much would it be for you to just come do it? Do you have a filter on your truck?
I do have clients that are a lot more. They're in the higher end of homes, and they just say, hey, I don't want to have to think about this.
Yeah,
like, you
just do it for me.
Hit me up, show up at my house, take care of it. I don't want to think about it. But that idea of being a home professional or whatever you were calling that, I think that there's tremendous opportunity for almost a hobby. I think you find a lot of enjoyment for taking care of your own house, taking care of the yard, and taking care of these smaller minor things. You can really become a jack of all trades if you put that time into it. That's the big thing about hiring a professional, is it's a matter of how much time do you want to put into it for you to learn it, or is it worth it to you just to pay someone to come and do it in an eighth of the time?
Your time worth?
Exactly.
That's what gets me to call people out. More often than not, just because it's like you said, I can fumble my way through something, and I feel like if it's the surface level stuff, I'm all about it. But the moment it's like, I have to watch a YouTube video, I have to do this, that's where I'm like, okay, can I? Probably. Should I? Probably not.
I ran into that. I always think of myself as a pretty handy guy. It was humbling, but this February, my dryer was having an issue. I was like, I can take care of it.
What is a dryer but just a big furnace?
Exactly. That's what you think. No, but I took it apart and I was like, oh, I do not want to put this back together. It was not worth my time. It took me way longer. I called the guy out. It took me, probably 45 minutes to take the whole thing apart. He came out and had it disassembled in like 2.
Yep.
I mean, it was humbling for sure. He knew what he was doing. He had done it.
When you're doing it every day, it becomes muscle memory. And
exactly. It's easier to not make mistakes when that is.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's like just the simple nuances in whatever system that it's like, unless you're doing it every day, you're not going to know it as well.
Just like those tiny things that you have to remember to do.
Exactly. So, what does the future of WB HVAC look like? What are we going to remain a solo, one guy in a truck, or is there goals to expand? You're going to become the next Any Hour, but better.
Exactly. We don't want to follow in their footsteps, but we intend to grow, and we intend to grow in order to serve and help as many people here as we possibly can.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of companies that just I don't love the way that they're doing business, and I want to I want to show better business in the HVAC industry here in Utah.
Nice. How do you intend to do that? What's going to set you apart?
Just honesty, being straightforward with people. My biggest pet peeve are those companies that they send out a salesman and not like a service tech, right? There's so many times where I've gone for a second opinion on a house. I mean, there's one old lady that I'm good friends with, and she called me up. She said, "Hey, I just need a second opinion on this."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll come out there." The guy told her the whole system was bad, needed to be replaced. It was this and this and this. Just gave this long list, overwhelming list of bad problems. I showed up there, and it was a bad capacitor. So it was like, a $150, $200 fix. I was done in 15 minutes and out of there.
And her system's good to go.
Her system's good to go. She got another, 5-10 years hopefully out of it. But that's the thing, is that the bar to really set yourself apart, it does not take much to be honest and trustworthy and someone who is good at communicating, someone who shows up on time.
Yep.
There's so many of these contractors out there that, they say, "Oh, it'll be done here at this time. It'll be done in this way." And then, that day comes, like, where are they? Like, no one told me they weren't going to show up. I think that communication is key. So, straightforward and honest communication. I think those are going to be the two biggest key factors in setting myself apart.
You're not wrong. That's it seems like such a low bar to go for, but I do agree with you with it. There's a lot of people that just aren't willing or able, or just they don't care.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that I can see in you and your business, is that you actually do care, and I think that's going to help grow your business a ton.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's the customer service side of it. There's something that I've talked a lot with a close friend of mine about the passion of it. There's something that is attractive about having a passion about it. Everyone wants to work with someone who really enjoys what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And I think that
that's true in any industry.
Oh yeah, if you love it and it's no longer a work to you, it's almost like a hobby or an art. You're creating something and building something.
Yeah.
There's just the doors are open for working with someone who enjoys it.
Yeah, imagine what it would be like if you went to the DMV and somebody was like smiling and excited. Like,
what a dream, right?
Come on in, sit right here. We're going to have this ready for you in about 10 minutes. How's your day going? Like, if they just asked that, it would be like night and day. Like, I can't imagine. Then vice versa. Imagine, like, everywhere you went was a DMV employee, and they're just like, "Stay right there, please."
Well, yeah, if Chick-fil-A turned into a DMV, then...
Can you imagine? No more chicken.
No more chicken, no more pleasure. My pleasure. No more my pleasure.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Oh.
Do we need to wrap this up? Is that what you're telling me? You're giving me some signs. My producer in the back is telling me. Just kidding. Okay, so one thing we like to do on our podcast at the end is just, I'm going to give you some rapid fire random questions. First thing that comes to your mind. Just answer it. No pressure.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. What is your favorite all-time movie?
Lord of the Rings, extended version.
Lord of the Rings.
All three of them.
All three, okay. Allow it. What is your guilty pleasure song you love to listen to, but you'd be embarrassed if your friends knew that you loved it?
A while ago, I stepped into a mood of I listened to Again by Fetty Wap quite a bit. That was definitely a guilty pleasure. But that was a fun one.
And then last question would be, if you had to gain 100 pounds in the next year, but you could only eat at one place, where would you eat?
My mother's kitchen.
Your mother's kitchen. Do you think you could get 100 pounds?
No. Oh, that's a difficult question. It truly is.
And it's 100 pounds however you want it. It could be 100 pounds of muscle. It could be 100 pounds of just...
I'm more concerned about eating that much of just one thing.
Not one item, but one restaurant.
One restaurant. So really, it's a restaurant with some variety. Like, I don't think I could do like Costa Vida or Cafe Rio, because that's just...
You get sick of... Yeah,
that's the same thing.
Tortilla, beans, meat, and cheese.
Exactly, just configured differently. I don't know, maybe like a Golden Corral or some kind of like a all-you-can-eat where they've got a rotating day.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think of Cheesecake Factory, because they've got that long, giant menu, and there's plenty on there. Like you can
try everything.
Have tacos one night, have a burger another night, and you probably just need to double up on cheesecake all the time if you're going to get to your 100-pound mark.
I've never been to the Cheesecake Factory.
What?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get with our producer and fix that. Well, Spencer, this has been a immaculate pleasure to have you on the podcast today. I think you're great. I think I see a lot of promise with you and WB HVAC, and we're just excited to see you grow.
Thank you, Jared.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find you, Spence?
Can we put my number down below in the description or something?
Absolutely,
that
we
would
can.
be the best way to do it.
Check
Check below.
I'll put your